Hello everybody, what's up? It's a little bit after 4 and we are live and direct here at the Reverence Design Team Hair Salon located in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. And it is me, your very exciting, very excited, very exuberated, very invigorated author, hairstylist, Ladosha Wright, here to have some more conversations about my new book that's coming out titled, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon. So in case you did not know, but today is actually the first day of fall. So I've got my fall hairstyle, jumping off with my little leafy color, and I had to throw some pink on because, I thought it was just kind of cute. So happy fall to those of you who are in the fall season, all my Virgos and Libras, and if you're a Scorpio like me, fall season. So happy birthday, happy fall. So everybody, welcome to the new fall season. And today we have a wonderful, wonderful topic of what they don't tell you at the hair salon. So hey, Joanne, what's going on? Am I saying it right? Is it Joan or Joanne? So hello, what's going on? Thank you so much for being the first one to jump in. I appreciate it. What's up, Lamont? So hey guys, how you doing? My favorite thing, I gotta let everybody know because, hitting those heart buttons, sharing the video, and liking the video is how we let everybody out there in the social media world know that your girl, the hairstylist who cares, Ladosha Wright, is live and direct on Facebook, talking about what they don't tell you at the hair salon. So today the topic is going to be nice and juicy. If you look down in my feed, you will see I put some nice pictures in there to help get the conversation going. And it's all about cultural appropriation. Now, just to give you a little backdrop about the book, again, the name of the book is affectionately called What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon. And so the backdrop or the premise of the book is that, here's the facts. So the facts are, number one is that race has absolutely positively nothing to do with hair. So hair is not as black and white as they would like for you to believe it is. So with that being said, there's so much emotions around hair. And so the conversation about race and hair, it gets very, intense. And so this book is going to address that. And so in turn, what we're going to do, my goal rather, is to do like a cognitive reconstruction of sorts, where my goal is to change the way people look at hair and change the way that they actually do hair. So when you buy my book, you get to go on this wonderful journey of what they don't tell you at the hair salon. I will, because I want to make the topic of hair very user-friendly. Thank you so much, Shan, for the love. I appreciate it because that lets everybody know that's my sister out there trying to get that book sold. So thank you very, very much. So the topic, these topics of, race not having anything to do with hair, reconstructing the way people think about. So that's that cognitive part. We got to change the way folks even think about hair. And when you think about how you see your hair, you know what? You actually change the way that you do your hair. So my book is definitely going to do that. So the three premises or the message strategy is about the race. The second one is that your healthy hair is an inside job with social media. And we're talking about for centuries with all the marketing and all the advertising and all of the promotion that went on about hair. The notion of healthy hair was all about buying products and going to see the right hairstylist. So this book, we get to kind of say, nah, that's not true. Hairstylists are, most of the times, we are left out of the conversation about what it really takes to take care of your hair. And the only time people really come to us is when you want to look good. And a lot of times, by the time you want to look good, sometimes for a lot of people, the hair is not in the best condition. And so when it's time to sign the record deal, when it's time to, you just said yes to the dress, you're getting ready to go into delivery, or you have that new job and you look up and you say, oh my God, what about my hair? So by the time you come to the hair salon, for a lot of people, the hair is not in the best condition. And most hairstylists are posed with a very arduous task, if you will, of what to do with the hair when it's not in the best condition. And culturally, unfortunately, we have been told that the hair is bad. And so from a cosmetologist perspective, and sometimes even the customer's perspective, they're approaching the hair from a bad frame of reference, that, oh my God, Ladosha hair is bad. And then the terminology that a lot of cosmetologists use to address what's before them, you hear, particularly those people who have textured hair. So when you have textured hair, you're gonna have one set of vocabulary. And when you don't have texture, you have another set of vocabulary. So in my book, we get to break this down. And so my book can't cover all of this, have that thing going on, that would be too large. But what I can do is just kind of cover it, give you a broad scope and use the different formats of social media, of, blogs. I could write about it. I could also do, like podcasting. So I have to take advantage of all of the platforms to get the word out, to help change the language. Because like I said, and I see some hairstylists are on the feed. I saw my favorite Bobby Showtime was in the house. Please put your information, Bobby, and let everybody know where you're at. If you're looking for a great hairstylist, he is one of the best. He's also a phenomenal hair colorist. So again, you have two sets of vocabularies that's taking place when a customer walks into a salon or even onto a movie set and the hair is not in the best condition. And so if the mindset of the person who is doing the work is that the hair is bad, and they're using that set of terminology, then you know what? Their approach is going to be totally different when you have another set of terminology, and you're going to you're going to approach the hairstyling a lot differently. So my book definitely serves as an aid to professionals. In the beauty industry, the customers and the professionals, unfortunately, are the same. Unlike a doctor and his patient, they don't speak the same language. So there's a set of language and books and material for doctors, and there's a set of language and material for patients. They don't cross. So the doctor definitely has a verbal, and he also has a profession advantage that he can now consult with the patient, and the patient can now talk with the doctor with her issues, and together they can come up with a nice medical plan. Unfortunately, in hairstyling, we don't have that type of verbiage available to help us when we have an issue before us. And so we hear things like Maya Rudolph. Someone, Arian Kirkpatrick, just shared with me that Gabrielle Union, she had I think she said a chapter in her book about hair shaming in Hollywood. And these types of things, it does not have to be this way, but they're going to remain that way if hairstylists like me and Bobby, because Bobby, he definitely shares my sentiment, Greg Gilmore of Design Essentials. These are hairstylists, we are hairstylists who cares, and we are bold and we are daring, and we are coming from behind the chair. I can't do my videos while I'm servicing my customers because they're like, you better not put me on that stuff. So, I have a different type of a clientele, but still I can take a few moments out of my day and my days to write the book and to do the videos so that other hairstylists who care, they now have material to help with the conversation. There needs to be a conversation before we can even touch your hair to help give you a resolve that can sometimes be instantaneous. And then a lot of times the resolve to hair is going to take more than just one salon visit. But now the challenge is, well, what language do we use? How do we talk to a person who has this much hair and they want this much by next week? Or they have this much hair and they want this much hair by the wedding at the end of the year. I know, hairstyle like, Ladosha, that just happened to me last week. Yes, and so because the cosmetology field has a very novice undertone. And so the novice undertone in cosmetology is that I could do hair before I even had my license. So the license is all about me just being able to legally do hair. And that's why you have laws like the one that's coming up in Ohio, House Bill 189, where they're trying to get rid of the education, because you do have a sect of professional licensed cosmetologists who truly feel like the license serves no purpose. However, education always serves a purpose. Now, the education needs to be appropriate. So when I say education, y'all know who I'm about to talk about, right? Greg. So here is some appropriate education that's for licensed professionals to help you with skills, you know, to help you with language, to help you with products. So when you have that customer or that head of hair in your chair, you're not saying things like it's difficult. You're not saying words like it's hard. You're not saying words like it's nappy. You're not using adjectives like it's kinky. You're not using words like it's woolen. These terms are not of endearment. Those terms are just as harsh as the N word. You know, you don't want nobody saying, hey nigga, what's up? You know, your nigga hair. Nobody wants to hear that. So even in hair, nappy, kinky, woolen, difficult, those are not very nice terminology or nice words to be used when you have an issue before you. And so when you take a class like this one that's coming up, this is sponsored by, the company is, oh yes, it's sponsored by Mr. Willie Williams. And so you can call him at 216-533-1356. This is for licensed professionals. And so Greg, who is an actual cosmetologist, he partners with a company like Design Essentials, who partners with people like Greg and myself who are licensed. So we're not using those terms. And even if we do use them, because now they're so embedded that people just say them all the time, we can begin to change the language. And so my book is about that reconstructuring, where we're saying don't use words like kinky. Do not use words like nappy. Do not use words like wool. You know, wool is a fabric. Wool is not hair. Hair is not like wool. Hair is not kinky. When you look up the word kink, the etymology of kink, it doesn't really have a beautiful history. And who wants to be associated with that type of a word? However, you have to keep in mind that people who have that hair texture in America, they were not allowed to speak their language to describe their hair. So now we have a group of people who have given people who with this color and with this type of hair, or maybe not with this type of color, but with this type of hair, a word to describe the hair, saying nappy. And so then it becomes not a really good word because they don't know what to do with it. So then you fast forward all the way till 2018, and you have an actress who she said her father was white and her mother was black, and she's working on a movie set, and you have a commission certified, where they have the card, a union hairstylist. Now, mind you, for the public, you need to understand that to work on a movie set in Hollywood, first of all, it's very expensive for a hairstylist to do that. That's number one. Number two, you have to be very, you're vetted by other actors and actresses who's saying you can get in. Now, you may not necessarily have to have a license, but everybody just can't walk up on the movie set and say, I want to work on Mission Impossible. I know how to do some weave, or I want to work on, what's the movie that just came out? With the Black Klansman with Spike Lee. You just can't walk up on these movie sets and say, I know how to do hair. You have to be a part of a union. So these people have spent a lot of money to work on this movie set, correct? And so here comes Maya Rudolph or Gabrielle Union, who doesn't have the hair that they're ready to just live and direct. Welcome to Saturday Night Live. So you only have a few minutes to get her ready. And then you have a hair stylist she's a union stylist. And she's saying to the person, damn, your hair difficult. It's nappy. Duh! Where they do that at? So my book is saying she's not competent. She needs to be off the movie set. You need to have hairstylists who knows exactly what they're doing. And even if they do use those terms, they don't have that approach. So when you buy my book, you get that new thought. You get that information that's going to empower you. And you also get new vocabulary. And then you also actually have the physical book that you can give to your client, or vice versa. Your client can actually give it to you. And then together, you can now begin the conversation about the goal with the hair. And if you've taken a class like this one, that's sponsored by a company, Design Essentials, from a person who's licensed. And Greg is a very passionate hairstylist, and Bobby can attest to that. I can attest to that. There's so many other licensed cosmetologists who can attest that Greg knows what he's doing. You take a class like this one, and now you can work with a person like Maya Rudolph, who doesn't fit every person that's going to come on to Saturday Night Live, or go to prom, or go to a marriage, or go, to a job interview. You can now realistically help them with their hair. And so that's what the book is all about. So I need you guys to come on and give me some hearts, show your girls some love, because I am here having a conversation about cultural appropriation and what they don't tell you at the hair salon. So come on, let's hit that heart button and let's get some people onto this feed. And let me just take a little sip of water here. Okay, also I got to give a super duper duper shout out to my homeboy, Chia, because he went to the Metropolitan Museum and look what he brought me back. How cool is that? Thank you so much for the love. And so my BFF, he hooked up with our homeboy, none other than Brother Reggie. So Brother Reggie was kicking out, all this information about, the Medunetra, aka the hieroglyphs. So I got me a little trinket. So I just had to do a little shameless plug on that. Thank you so much for the love. That's right, guys. Keep hitting those heart buttons. You're just sitting there, so just keep tap, 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 tap. All right, so next up, on the topic of cultural appropriation, I don't know if you guys know, but on Saturday, Netflix released a movie called Napoli Ever After. And so, hey Fatu, and so that was the movie. Thank you so much for the love. That movie was based off of the top selling book, Napoli Ever After, and this is written by Trisha R. Thomas. You already know that I done emailed her, I done inboxed her, I done DM'd her, I done just told her page up. She's like, girl, if you don't get off my feet, I'm like, I can't. So this book and the movie, I haven't read the book, but we all know, if you're a reader, everybody who reads know, the book is always better than the movie. So you know that I am definitely going to read this book. And so, but let me just tell you a little bit about the book, my shopping experience. So I called around to buy the book today so that I can have it and support her and tell everybody to go on Netflix to watch the movie, because it makes a wonderful discussion for the entire family. So I don't care what race you are, everybody needs to watch this movie on Netflix, Napoli Ever After. So and my best friend, he was with me today, we were having lunch. So he was watching me across from me as I was calling, trying to buy the book. So each bookstore I called, I said, hello, yes, I'm calling to see if you have Napoli Ever After in stock. And they said, Happily Ever After, who's the author? I said, the author is Trisha R. Thomas, and the name of the book is Napoli. And they said, I'm sorry, could you spell that? I said, N as in Nancy, Appily. Not one white person would say that word. I'll repeat. Not one white person, they never repeated the title of the book back. And that is why I'm writing the book. So this book talks about that word and why we have to stop using that is not a term of endearment. And so I don't want to be the spoiler alert and tell you what the movie was all about, because then, Trisha might get me, and I don't want Trisha to get me, and I want you guys to go on to Netflix and watch the movie. But that was my experience in trying to buy the book. And so that experience further validates why we as cosmetologists, we have the power to change the whole scope of this social construct called racism. Because there is a large group of people who do not buy into that. And they are very, 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 very well aware of the words that are being used to shame and evoke an emotion or even just numb it. Some people are just numb. When you say, oh, your hair nappy, they're like, girl, I know. What? Can you say something different? It is what it is. That is not what it is. You have one group of people, when their hair, becomes tangled, you know what they call it? It's tangled. But when our hair becomes tangled, it's nappy. Don't you guys think something is wrong with that picture? Or are you so numb? Are you just so used to it that you're like, it's just nappy hair? It is not just nappy hair. It's a very bad word. And so we want to stop using that word. The hair is not nappy. The hair is tangled. All hair tangles. And so we need to call it what it is. And so my book will help with that type of a scenario. And the scenario today of cultural appropriation is like the perfect topic where you have a group of people who are emulating or copying the hairstyles of another culture of people, and the people get it all mixed up. Now, that's not to say that people of other cultures can't borrow, but what happens is people start to own it and say it's mine and you can't use it. You can't do it, and that's not what beauty is all about. So I am of the mindset that beauty is a form of art and you get to express yourself. So you have some people like, I don't think so, or no, that is not what beauty is. So you, of course, you have your right to say whatever you think beauty is. After all, it's your mind. So you do not need me to tell you what beauty is. However, for those who really want to express their beauty and they are being shamed for it, that's where I, and my new book, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon, this is where the book and this conversation comes into play. And so the topic of cultural appropriation, I'm pulling you in, I'm drawing you in, and if you share with me via email your experience on cultural appropriation, and your name goes into a drawing. I already have 2 winners, and you get to win a free hair styling set with combs and brushes and all that cool stuff. So I can mail it to you, or you can come by the salon and pick it up. So last week we had Juanita Sandifer, and then the week before we had Miss Cynthia Harrigan. So people are responding, and I would like to thank you so much for your support. Thank you for keeping to hit those heart buttons. I appreciate you very much. So here we go, cultural appropriation. So that's a big word. That's a weird word. So what? Cultural appropriation. What's that all about? So here, thank you so much. So thank you so much, Miss Geraldine. I really appreciate you. So here you have this term, cultural appropriation. So cultural appropriation is when one person or group of people from another culture, they emulate or they copy that practice. So for example, let's take cornrows. So in the feed I have Elizabeth Taylor. She is depicting Cleopatra. Then I think I have Rachel Dolezal. Who can forget Rachel Dolezal? She was the lady of the Rachel Divide on Netflix. She was also the lady who caused a whole big stir of the NAACP, where she was a white woman posing as a black woman. Who cannot forget that on the headlines? That thing, and then recently they said she was accused of welfare fraud, which officially made her black. I wasn't feeling that one, okay? So you have Rachel Dolezal, and then you also have Bo Derek. So those are like the most popular figures in TV where cultural appropriation has just went wild. And so a lot of people are not aware that culturally, cornrow braids stem from Africa. So then you flip it on the other side. So we have hair weaves, we have blonde, hair. And then let's take like Jennifer Beal from Flashdance. So in some people's mind, when you wear a weave, you're trying to be white. So that's where we get this, you know what, folks, y'all are just messing it up. And this is why race has to go, because the notion that all black people or people of color or natives of whatever homeland they are from, that nationality. So whether you're from Spain, whether you're from Europe, whether you're from South America, North America, Antarctica, you can give me any continent you want, you can give me any nation you want. I guarantee you that all those people don't have the same hair. So when you say that a person who wears a weave or a person who colors their hair or a person who straightens their hair is trying to be white, that is not cultural appropriation, because all black people do not have coily hair. That's what they don't tell you at the hair salon. And all white people don't have straight hair. Just ask any white person, and I promise they will tell you, my hair don't do that. And then you will have some white people who will say, my hair is very straight. You'll have some black people who will say, my hair doesn't do that. And then you'll have some black people who will say, my hair does. So the cultural appropriation of wearing cornrows is very befitting. So it is not the culture of Europe to have cornrow braids, because that came from the culture in the interior of Africa. No Europeans, nowhere is it documented that people from that side of the universe was cornrowing hair. That came from Africa. That's their culture. That's their practice. When you flip it over and you start shaming people for wearing weaves, you start shaming people for wearing blonde hair. I cannot tell you, dude, you want to talk about somebody who gets it? I get the fever. So whenever I go into any place, the first thing people ask me, are you black? Like, what you talking about, Willis? What do you mean am I black? And they'll say, I've never seen a black girl with hair like that. What you talking about? I didn't know black people can color their hair. Oh my God. Are you really saying this to me? Or can I touch it? What you mean, can you touch it? I mean, this is real life. And if you've had this experience, put your experience in my feed. Let the world know that's inappropriate behavior. We ain't gonna even go into cultural appropriation. That is inappropriate. You're going to question somebody's ethnicity, somebody's nationality. The race thing, I'm gonna go along with that, because we know that systemically we have been trained to believe that all people from Africa look the same way. I think I got an African on my feed. Her name is Fatu. So Fatu, could you please let everybody in the world know that you live in the nation of Gambia, on the continent, dudes, the continent of Africa. So can you let them know all Africans do not look the same? So we know that there are a lot of people who know that, but there are a lot more people who really don't know. They're called racist. And so we don't want to fight with the racists because that's futile. And we're not trying to change their mind because that's futile. We want to give out the information so that people who don't know, they won't subscribe to all of that misinformation, that pseudo, that's very fake. It sounds good, yeah. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. You know, say it loud. I'm Irish and I'm wild. Well, Irish is the nationality, so that's cool. But black is a race, and that's a construct. Now, the concept behind it is a very noble one, because there was a time when black was so bad because they were calling us Negroes, black, you know, all the words, burnt, you know, Kemet, they're saying Kemet meant, you know, burnt. Kemet does not mean burnt. You know, you gotta understand that this is pseudo. This stuff is fake, and you need to get the right information. My book, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon, it does that for you. So if you're wondering, how are we going to get this book? When are we going to get this book? Where are we going to get this book? You're going to get the book, drum roll please. That's my chunky thighs up here I'm beating on. So the drum roll says Monday, November 5th, right here in the home of the Reverence Design Team Hair Salon. What better place to have a discussion about what they don't tell you at the hair salon than at a hair salon? So all the people, I hate hair salons. They make me sick. First of all, you gotta wait forever. Second of all, they charge you, oh my God, $100 for a freaking hairstyle. 3, they never have the products that they use on your hair. You know, 4, they're all using different stuff. Number 5, the hairstylists are so arrogant. You can't talk to the hairstylist. You know, number 6, they don't know what they're talking about. You know, number 7, oh, let's not forget the one that cut off all my damn hair. You know, we got so many scenarios. We have a plethora of them that we can have a conversation about what they don't tell you at the hair salon on November the 10th, when I release my book, right here from 6 to 8 p.m. I'm sorry, November the 5th. I'm sorry. That's Monday, November the 5th, right here at the Reverence Design Team. You'll have to email me. This is going to be the hottest seat, the hottest show. And I'm telling you, if you have ever been to a Reverence Design Team event, you know we will pack this little baby up in here and have us a really good old-fashioned rump stomping at the Savoy good time, because this is the place that love built. I thank you so much for tuning in and having a conversation with me about cultural appropriation. I thank you for all of the comments. Please, by all means, like and share the video. Remember, it's voting season. Your vote matters. I have to do my shameless plug. So you do not lose your right to vote. Number 1, if you were convicted of a felony and served a sentence, you can still vote. If you have an outstanding warrant, they're not going to arrest you. You can still vote. You don't have to have a valid state ID. You can still vote. And we don't care if you're black or white, Puerto Rican, everybody, just a freaking, you can still vote. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to Conversations with Ladosha about what they don't tell you at the hair salon. Continue to hit the like button. And you know what we say before I go over to Instagram and repeat this same conversation? Love, peace, and hair grease. You know it's far. Bye.